Hey there, Posse. Have you ever heard someone say, there's never a dumb question? Every question is a good question. I don't know. I've heard some really wild ones out there. Now, specifically thinking about a wine, have you ever been on a vineyard or winery tour and were afraid to ask any questions because you didn't want to make a fool out of yourself? That's what this episode is all about. Stay tuned. Hey there, Posse. I'm Pierre, and welcome to Asti Wine Consultants. In this episode, we're going to learn how to ask good questions when going on a winery tour. Questions that will enhance your understanding of the winemaking process, the vineyard, and the wines themselves. These 10 questions are great because they'll be a springboard which will lead to a lot of other questions and make your experience even more enriching. Now keep in mind, at any time, if you like what you hear, click like, subscribe, and hit the little bell so you'll be notified when there's a new post. And also, make sure you share this with your friends. I'm sure they would appreciate it. Let's get started. How did the winery get started? Now this question can give you insight into the winery's history and the founder's passion for winemaking. Number 2 is, what grape varietals are grown in the vineyard and why? Understanding the types of varietals of grapes being grown will help you appreciate the diversity of the wines being produced. Now the next question could be, what is the toar of the region and of the vineyard, and what influences does the toar have on the grapes? Now remember, toar refers to the unique environmental factors like soil and climate and topography that has an influence on which varietals can be grown and the wine's flavor and body. Number 4 is, what is the winemaking process from vine to bottle? Now you're basically asking for a step-by-step explanation of how the grapes are grown, harvested, and then turned into wine. The 5th question could be, how are the grapes harvested? Now this may be touched on when the tour guide addresses question number 4, but still ask that question. Learning about the harvest method, whether it's hand picking or machines, can provide insight into the winery's commitment to quality. How are you doing there? Are these questions making sense? If they are, write Asti in the comments below. Now the 6th question is, what type of barrels are used for aging the wine? Some wines, especially white wines, are fermented and aged in stainless steel. The choice of oak barrels can greatly impact the flavor and aromas of the wine. Now listen for these ideas in your tour guide's answer. The type of oak, like American or French oak, and the amount of charring of the oak from light charring to heavy charring is what you're asking about and listening for. Next up is, how long are the wines aged in barrels or bottles? The follow-up question on this could be, is there any aging done in stainless steel? Aging time can vary significantly between different wines and have a big influence on their taste and complexity. Number 8 is, do you use any sustainable or organic practices in the vineyard? Now many wineries are adopting sustainable and organic farming methods. It's interesting to know if this is a priority for this particular winery. The question could lead to discussions about the difference between sustainable and organic practices. Now, if that's of interest to you, ask a follow-up question or two about it. Now, really, do that on any of these questions. Again, these questions are there as a springboard for you to learn more. Now, as you're tasting and developing your own opinion about the wines you're tasting, the next question could be, can you describe the tasting notes of the wines we're tasting, the wines we're trying? Ask the guide or winemaker to share their insight on the aromas, flavors, and characteristics of the wine you're sampling. Now, our 10th question is, are there any upcoming releases or special events at whatever the name of the winery is you're on touring at that point? It's great to stay informed about new releases and events at the winery so you can plan future visits or purchases. Folks, remember that winery tours are an excellent opportunity to learn more about the winemaking process, the winery's philosophy, and the wines they produce. And what better way to learn than to ask some really good questions? If you use any of the ones that I've suggested, let me know. Let me know how it goes. Thanks for joining me today. Until next time, cheers. Hey Posse, thanks so much for investing the time to watch this video. I trust it was helpful to you. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And please consider hitting subscribe. Oh, and be sure to check out these other videos. Until next time, cheers.